It's time for Preserving Your Dignity and Your Money, Planning for Successful Aging with Nugen Law. And now your host, J. Bryan Nugen, estate planning and elder law attorney.
Good morning, and welcome to Preserving Your Dignity and Your Money, Planning for Successful Aging with Nugen Law. I'm attorney J. Bryan Nugen, founder of Nugen Law, and your host for our program. The purpose of our show is to have weekly, in-depth conversations about matters relevant to folks as they walk down the path of successful aging. Our listeners will learn what it is to age with dignity and how best to protect their money. I've been practicing law for 3 decades. I'm licensed to practice in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and Florida, and actively represent clients in all 4 states. My practice, the attorneys, and our interdisciplinary team of professionals who practice with me concentrate on working with clients in estate planning and elder law and areas related to them, such as protecting money from nursing home stays, securing benefits from programs including Medicaid and VA, geriatric care coordination, estate and trust administration, guardianships, and planning for those with special needs. Nugen Law sees clients in many stages of life, but commonly, we have folks reaching out when they or a loved one are showing signs of needing help. Those signs may include a chronic ailment or progressive decline before, during, or after a hospitalization, an instance of incapacity, caregiver burnout is a hot topic, stress on family members, of course, due to some or all of those instances I just mentioned. So as a reminder, if you hear something in today's broadcast which resonates with you, an area in which we may be able to help, please call Nugen Law at 260-925-3738, speak with one of our intake specialists, and schedule a meeting for either our Fort Wayne or our Auburn locations. You're also encouraged to see us online at www.nugenlaw.com. That's NUGENLAW.com. Also, Nugen Law will be presenting a free seminar on August 15th between 1 and 5 p.m. in Fort Wayne with a deeper dive into how you can be sure to preserve your dignity and protect your money, with topics like asset preservation, care management as you age, estate planning, and elder law. Please call 260-925-3738 to reserve your spot at that seminar scheduled for August 15th. Today, we have a familiar guest with us, Brian Grubb, or BG as we call him, the Elder Care Coordinator with Nugen Law. BG, welcome.
Good morning, Brian.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Let's start. Explain to our audience the role of an elder care coordinator at Nugen Law. You heard me saying something earlier about geriatric care management. What's the position of an elder care coordinator, and how do clients of Nugen Law receive your services?
Well, elder care coordinators meet with individuals. Once we get assigned a case, basically I would go meet with the family, the individual, do an assessment, and find out what kind of things they need, and also just get some basic information about them and some direction about what we want to pursue for them. And it could be a lot of different things. It could be assisted living, maybe they're transitioning, maybe I'm helping them with maybe getting some help with organizing their home, that kind of thing. Or it could be pursuing like a process like the Medicaid waiver. So I do all sorts of things, up to and including helping you put your air conditioner in.
You've done it all.
Yeah.
Good for you. I know that your clients appreciate that, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So what I know you personally, but what drew you to this field?
Just serving people. I thought about a career in engineering, and it just didn't seem to fit what I really wanted to do in life. And so I just been honored, and we're maybe used a little too often, but blessed that I've been able to serve people. So I just really enjoy making a difference in people's lives. So
good for you.
The main thing.
Yeah, and I can speak from experience in the compliments we get from our clients that you are appreciated without a doubt. Recently, we were talking about a client that family members are out of town, and they're wanting you to visit with the physicians that are treating the local loved one and speak with them about what was happening and making sure that things were appropriately handled.
Right.
So that's a service you would provide as well.
Yeah. We actually have a lot of families, clients that have maybe a mom or dad here, or sister, brother, and we're helping them even though they're long distance. One family may be in Minnesota, another one in Iowa for one sister. So I help organize whatever they need. So next week, I'm going to help do a tour with one family at 3 or 4 different places in Fort Wayne. So,
Great.
Yeah.
And those are facilities that you're familiar with, you've had a good experience with, other clients have had good experiences with, and so you're comfortable showing them those spots as a consideration for them.
Yeah, and I think the whole process for people, they don't know where to start, and they don't have the connections. And so, one of my goals is to make those connections so that when I'm talking to somebody, they're familiar with me. They know what our expectations are as far as them at a facility, and they try to meet our expectations, which is really a positive thing for the clients that we're serving because we do have that relationship. So.
You were telling a story recently about you have one client moving into a facility and you have other clients at that same facility. So you've encouraged those other clients, please welcome this new client, make sure they're comfortable, and give them greet them with open arms.
Yeah, and in that case, we had a lady who was living in her home most all of her life, just recently in the last couple of years, moved to her daughter's home, and that was going okay, but it could have been better. So what we did was we're trying to relieve the burden from the daughter who was kind of caretaking for the individuals. So we found several assisted living facilities, had them tour them, and then have them make the choice. It's not for me to decide what what I think is the best for them. It's for them to decide that. But for me, it's just open those doors and help them with that process. So, the other day she moved in. She's loving it right away. I did reach out to a couple people clients that I knew there and the business office person there. And, so they've all touched base with that person, and she's loving it. She was playing euchre the other night, and that was one of the things she was looking forward to.
Euchre.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're in northeastern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, you know how to play euchre.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Great. People are always curious to know how your services are paid for. Nugen Law has a flat value-based annual fee. So, BG, if you speak with your clients once a day, once a week, once a month, none of your time is being tracked. You're just caring for them.
Yeah.
Your clients know going in what they will pay for the entire year, regardless of how much time you spend on their matter, and this gives them peace of mind and permits them to easily budget for your services. Do you find this helpful for your clients to relieve their worry about having to pay more and more as their level of care may increase?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because I feel like, again, after I establish that relationship with them, a trusting relationship, that they feel at ease with me. In fact, they tell me some things that maybe I don't even want to know or should know, but yeah, they reach out to me, and it makes them feel, I think, like that they're able to reach me, even on the weekends or after hours. They'll call me, and I don't mind that because my whole goal is for them to feel comfortable with me. So yeah, I really think it's a great thing for them to just feel like they can use me as much as they want. Mm-hmm. And even then, sometimes especially when I'm first meeting with a family, I met with a family at our office in Fort Wayne yesterday. And I just I told them umpteen times, do not hesitate to call me. Do not hesitate.
Yeah. And I think people, when they're working with a law office, have a notion that, oh my gosh, every time I call, they're going to be tracking how many minutes they speak to me, and I don't know what my bill's going to be at the end of the month. So that value-based flat fee billing, I think, is really appreciated.
Yeah.
And BG, you were just joking about somebody sharing things with you, maybe more, they were oversharing. But frankly, I think that's a testament to you and the relationship that you've developed with them and their family, and they feel comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And I think it's a compliment, frankly.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. I appreciate that, and I'm okay with it. I've heard it all. I've been a social worker for about over 45 years now, and I've heard a lot. So
yeah. Well, those 40-plus years of being in social work here in northeastern Indiana, what it's done for you, and in turn the clients of Nugen Law, is you know the resources that are available. You know the players in the local community. You can streamline the whole process of allowing people to successfully age wherever they are, right? Maybe in their home, maybe in an independent living facility, assisted living, nursing home, memory care unit. I know you've gone to clients at their hospital bed, and every location where they may be.
Yeah. In fact, this morning I got a text message from a provider actually The one family was looking for a physical therapist, and so I gave them a referral for a physical therapist. And the therapist texted me this morning and just thanked me for such a wonderful family that he's working with.
Isn't that nice?
So yeah, super nice. Yeah,
that's great. So ideally, when is it that you start working with your clients?
Well, usually as soon as we sign on. You, Brian, or Jesslyn will get in touch with me and let me know the basic information about the family, what kind of things that's going on with them, and then I try to get in touch with them as soon as possible, usually within the first day or two.
But what I'm saying is, in their aging process.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Is it better to meet with someone when they're in crisis mode? Is it better to meet them maybe in advance of that event?
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely. In advance, if possible. And and I always am encouraging people to start thinking about the future. Don't think about what you just need today. And that doesn't necessarily always happen, but we want people to think about the future. In fact, I called a family that we've been working with them for the last few months and haven't really been doing too much with them, trying to help them organize their home and stuff. So I reached out to them yesterday to see how things are going, and she was almost in a panic mode. Mm-hmm. And she said, "I need to see you." And I said, "Okay, I get it." So we set up an appointment for tomorrow morning. I'm going to help them. And what happened was there were some physical changes.
Right.
And it's a married couple. They've been married a long time. They're living at their own home, and we've been trying to help them kind of organize things and get thinking ahead. And in this situation, I'm going to meet with them tomorrow, and it may be that we immediately start then acting on another place to live or help with whatever they need. But I'll figure that out tomorrow morning.
Well, I think the key is, BG, that you knew the client in advance of this event.
Yeah.
As a result, you understand who they are.
Yeah.
You understand their likes and their dislikes.
Yeah.
Their baseline as far as who they were before this event.
Yeah.
And so you, when you're giving advice and you're making recommendations and organizing their care, you have that foundational knowledge of them.
Yeah. Well,
so that helps.
Yeah, and they're the foundation of trust. Even though I haven't done a ton of things for them, they know me. They know that I am looking after them and that I've been in constant contact with them throughout this time period, so that when I reached out to her yesterday, she immediately accepted and asked for help.
Yeah.
So
that is fulfilling, and truly that is why we have an elder care coordinator at Nugen Law.
Yeah.
That's it. You're fulfilling a need that our clients have, that as an attorney I recognize our clients have, and historically in the past it was sad for me that I couldn't help. I knew that the client needed help, but there was no coordination of how it is that they get the help. Yeah. So by adding you as an elder care coordinator at the office, we're able to not only prepare instruments for the clients and help them with taxes and all of that, but we're able to help them with their day-to-day living needs for successfully living day-to-day in a healthy way, and you are a huge part of that. So I appreciate you being part of the team, and
thank you.
And I know that the clients do as well. You make a huge impact.
Yeah, I think the huge thing for the people is just that they feel alone in a lot of these processes, and I think they are so appreciative that there's somebody there to walk them through and kind of hold their hand in a loving way, and that's my role, is to help them through.
And I think that by your playing that role, I shouldn't say playing, by you performing that role with our clients, you're allowing other family members to focus on being a family member, to focus on, loving their parent or their sister, their brother, their child, whomever it may be, so they can stay in their lane in a positive and healthy way.
Yeah.
And you can worry about all the details and organizing everything. Yeah. And that's a huge help.
Yeah. Yeah, that case that we were just talking about just recently, where this lady was living with her daughter. When I met with them the first time, the daughter was so relieved just to talk to me. I went back the second time, talked to the mom about the benefits of it. The mom stated she was on board, but the last minute, as they were moving in, the mom was crying. Yep. And she said, don't take me, don't take me, don't take me. This is the same person now as Lovin, where she's living, okay? This is only in a few days. And the daughter said to me, she goes, Bryan, she goes, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And I reassured her, you are doing the right thing. And when I had my initial conversations with both of them about assisted living, it was that a reminder that their relationship was suffering because of them living together, and that it could be so much better if they were apart, and that the time that they do spend together could be more valuable.
Right.
Let's go shopping. Let's go to dinner, Mom. Let's go do this. Instead of, Mom, I got to take you to this appointment. Mom, I got to do this. Right. So I think the value there was to have somebody, again, that they trust, that would say, give them kind of, both of them, the down and dirty. You know, like, here's the way it is. This is the reality of it. But it could be so much better. You guys are at each other's throats right now.
Yeah. It's very difficult to be a caregiver 24 hours a day. We have this notion that I'm going to do this, I'm going to step up, it's the right thing to do. But when you're pressed into that, it is very challenging. So at the top of the program today, I talked about caregiver burnout, and you're giving that example. It is caregiver burnout. It has nothing to do with your love and affection for a parent, for a spouse, a sibling. It is very difficult. Nobody can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's impossible.
Yeah, and I see it. I mean, this family I was talking about just recently. I mean, both of them were kind of breaking down. I mean, it's just like when I stepped out of the door after the first meeting, the daughter came to me and she said she just felt a relief that somebody was helping her.
Of course.
And
it's huge. So as a reminder, if you hear something in today's broadcast which resonates with you, an area in which we may be able to help, if having an elder care coordinator like BG would be of benefit to you, loved one, or somebody you know, please call Nugen Law at 260-925-3738. Speak with one of our intake specialists and schedule a meeting for us at either our Fort Wayne or our Auburn offices. You're encouraged to see us online also at www.nugenlaw.com. Also, we'll be presenting a free seminar on August 15th between 1 and 5 p.m. in Fort Wayne, with a deeper dive into how you can be sure to preserve your dignity, protect your money, with topics like asset preservation, geriatric care management, which we're talking about today, estate planning, and elder law. Please call 260-925-3738 to reserve your spot. BG, when you're working with a new client, how do you get to know them, understand who they are and what their needs may be?
Well, what I try to do usually is, first of all, I'm always respectful of them, just making sure that they know that I'm here for them right away. That's immediate. But I always try to find commonalities, and I can with every single person. I can always find things in common, and I ask about them. I'm not there just to talk, about what I do. Right. I'm asking about them. I'm learning about them. I'm finding about their interests, the things they've done in their life, when they were born. Tell me about what you did when you were in high school. What kind of things that you did? How did you meet your husband? Tell me about that first date. But all those things that help me to get to know them on a more personal level. And then I do share stuff with me. I have to be careful about what I share, but it's really about, again, that all those things about how do you make a friendship relationship. And for me, it is business, but it definitely goes beyond that. Even when we have people that have passed that we've been serving, I still maintain that relationship with them.
Sure.
So, and they genuinely appreciate that. So just getting to know them, finding out information about them, asking them things, making them feel comfortable with me. So.
When you're getting to know your multiple clients, is there a common theme that you're seeing through the families or through the clients about why it is that they came to seek out help from Nugen Law, why they're appreciating working with you as our elder care coordinator? Is there something of a common theme that you see through them?
Well, a lot of times I was with a family yesterday, and, a lot of times they say things like, well, you guys stand out because of you have this service that we've never even heard of. Like, right. what attorney has a social worker, you know? That's one thing. But I think for a lot of people, they're in a stage of life where they just are needing some help, and they just don't know who to turn to.
Sure.
So.
And you open that door for them.
Yeah.
For sure. BG, what are some of your most challenging cases or types of things that you've hit, and how did you navigate those challenges for the betterment of your clients?
Well, sometimes the challenging things are when family members aren't on the same page. That's a big deal. And so, again, creating those relationships with the whole family and coming to some common ground, that's a big deal for us. Figuring those kind of problems out. Sometimes there's medical issues that come up, that we have to address right away, those kind of things. But a lot of times it's family issues. But again, I think where I can play a key role in is helping family members to get on the same page. Everybody really wants the best for their family members. I believe that, but there's just differences in opinions in that. So.
I think it's tough, too, when you've had I see situations in which one, let's say, child has been the primary caregiver, has been primarily handling things, is stressed out, and then another sibling, somebody swoops in and they're going to be, they're going to save the day and all of a sudden take over the situation, and they're telling the child that's been handling everything, you've been doing it wrong, we need to do it this way, you need to think differently. That can create some serious tension in the family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and actually, truly, life and death issues.
Right.
Where families aren't on the same page with that. I mean, I had a family a while back there that Dad was really, he said, I'm happy, I'm ready to be done, you know?
Yep.
And one of the kids was like, no, I'm going to take you home, I'm going to do all these things for you, And the other family members were saying, let's listen to Dad, you know.
So you're having to mediate that.
Yes, and actually met with a hospice physician and the family members, and then, if they ask my 2 cents, I give it.
Sure.
I'm not there to tell what's right or wrong, but I will help with that process if possible.
So you just mentioned about talking to hospice and maybe some of the healthcare providers. As your role as an elder care coordinator at Nugen Law, are you working with client healthcare providers? Are you working with facility directors, et cetera? And if so, in what capacity? Yeah,
pretty much the full gamut. It could be with physicians. In fact, one family, this is a family member where the daughter lives in D.C., Washington, D.C. area. The mom lives northern Indiana. And, they've asked me to get in touch and get the HIPAA waiver signed so that I can speak to the physicians. Sometimes a lot of times we had a family that a family member had a TBI, and I had to go.
Traumatic brain injury.
Yeah. Sorry. And had to go directly to a facility and ask that they relook at this person so that we could get them admitted. And really, the wife is so appreciative that she was having trouble finding a place because nobody wanted to accept this individual. So I basically went and advocated for them, take another look, please, and he's there, and she's so thankful. And then after that, we also I helped arrange for a care plan meeting immediately because they know him best. I wanted them to have the best results at the facility. So I don't just work with the families, too. I want facilities to know that I'm there in their corner also to help with whatever.
Sure.
So it's not just that I'm there as a watchdog or anything like that. I'm here to help that whole process for the family for the best results for the individual.
Well, I think the key is communication.
Yes.
Right? It is understanding what's going on, making sure everybody is communicating effectively. So how do you ensure effective communication, collaboration among the various healthcare providers, facilities involved in your client's care?
Well, I do follow-up. That's the thing. It's not just, setting something in place, but I will always attend the care plan meetings. But again, follow up, making sure that things are being done that they say they're going to do, that kind of thing. But just being, I think the main thing is participating in the care of the individual, wherever they're at, whether it's at home or at a facility.
Sure. So can you describe a situation where the interdisciplinary collaboration was crucial for your client's well-being, and what steps did you take to create that collaboration?
Yeah, well, a really good example is the individual I just spoke about there that had the traumatic brain injury. That was from beginning to end. Meeting them originally, the first time I met them, they were at a local hospital facility in the rehab area, and they were having trouble with the next steps because insurance was trying to push them to get out. So collaborating with the insurance company, helping with appeals, those kind of things. But then also the next step, which was organizing the care plan meeting or making sure that happened and who was going to be attending that. So, again, participating at that level is key, in my mind anyways, to successful wherever that is for the person.
Define what a care plan meeting is.
Oh, care plan meeting is a facility meeting. So if somebody was going to an assisted living or long-term care facility, they are supposed to have a care plan meeting, which would be interdisciplinary, so that social worker, occupational therapy, nursing, all those teams come together. And so I include myself in that and make sure that the facility knows that we're working with that individual, so they include me. Families are in these things for the first time. They don't really know what questions to ask, or they don't maybe see some of the things that I might see or ask questions about. And again, it's just to get better information, communicate with them.
Sure. Okay. To our listeners, if you text the word Nugen, that's Nugen, to the number on your smartphone, 45364. So if you text Nugen to 45364, you'll receive a text message with our contact information. Or you may call us at 260-925-3738 or email to help@nugenlaw.com, Nugenlaw.com, to set a meeting at either our Fort Wayne or our Auburn locations. Nugen Law will be presenting a free seminar on August 15th between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. in Fort Wayne, with a deeper dive into how you can be sure to preserve your dignity, protect your money, with topics like asset preservation, care management, as we're talking about today, estate planning, elder law. So give us a call at 260-925-3738 to reserve your spot. And by attending, you'll be able to meet our guest, BG, in person. BG, what type of feedback do you receive from clients and their families about services you provide as an elder care coordinator at Nugen Law?
Well, I just think like this woman the other day who moved her mom, she said to me, she goes, Bryan, she goes, I know that they appreciate you, but she says, on a personal level, she said, it was a little touching for me, but she just said, the difference that you've made for me personally, not just for my mom, but for me, it's made a huge difference. So people just, I think they really appreciate the personal touch, right, and the long-term relationship. Yeah,
help and sincere help.
Yeah,
for sure, so, and focused on them.
Yep, and I think for them it's just easing their burden, not just maybe with the family member, but the whole decision-making process, finding their way through this, because everybody, just yesterday, a meeting I had with a couple that I just met for the first time, their father was working, is now in a long-term care facility. We're helping them with that process. And they said, I gave him some tips right away. He didn't have Medicare Part B. I said, you need to get on that. We're going to call Social Security, give him the telephone number of Social Security. So I think, again, it's just a new thing for everybody. So many people have not been through this process. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's your first time, pretty much always the first time.
And you're giving them a path.
Yeah.
That's the feedback I get. Finally, I have direction.
Yeah.
I've been going online and Googling things and asking friends and neighbors, and I'm just awash with confusion and what's the right path to take.
Yeah.
So I think you create clarity for them by working with them as their elder care coordinator. Our listeners should understand that your serving as an elder care coordinator not only is not the only benefit rather they receive when working with Nugen Law. With the information you've learned from your client as an elder care coordinator, how do you work with attorneys and other team members at Nugen Law such that your clients are best served?
Well, constantly coordinating. In fact, sometimes I get questions that I shouldn't, they're attorney questions, but I think just establishing that relationship again with them, that very strong relationship, they trust me. So sometimes they reach out to me about things, and I'll just say, well, do this, or talk to Jesslyn or Bryan about that. But I work with a full team. I work really closely with our benefits coordinator. We're working together all the time, but it's a whole team effort. Everybody's informing each other. We have our weekly team meetings where we're updating on what we're doing with each individual.
Thank you. Our time is running short. We need to wrap up our discussion with BG. As a reminder, Nugen Law represents clients in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and Florida. If you'd like to schedule a time to speak with us, please call us at 260-925-3738. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I look forward to speaking with you next weekend on Preserving Your Dignity and Your Money, Planning for Successful Aging with Nugen Law.
You've been listening to Preserving Your Dignity and Your Money, Planning for Successful Aging with Nugen Law. For more information, log on to NugenLaw.com or email help@NugenLaw.com. Nothing stated in today's program should be considered as legal advice, should not be considered as having created an attorney-client relationship between show host and guests and any listener. Nugen Law is not liable for anything that happens as a result of a listener relying on provided information as legal advice. The content is for informational purposes only.